Beh. Eh. Cool. Alright. Best way to start the stream is like reach real far into your nose and pull out a winner. Alright. And of course with a bunch of fucking bugs. Because it's winter and they've all decided to like hibernate in the fucking house. I'll be trying to see if I can deal with that at some point. But time to see if anyone shows up. There were plenty of people interested, so maybe we will see. Could be very short or very not. Alright. Well, that's weird. There we go. Alright. Live weekly discussion stream. Then where the fuck is my window? There it is. Here. Acolyte. There we go. Oh yeah, I gotta... And then... put this in there. How y'all doing? If you're here, let me know. I think this might be short. I don't see anybody in the chat. Also, let me click live chat over here. Hello, Valor. The stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you stream at a bitrate of 6,800 kilobytes per second. Kilobits? Settings. I'm reasonable. Just got off my workout. It was fucking, it's leg day, which always sucks, but gotta get it done. Well, it's saying that my stream isn't fucking good quality. I mean, my bitrate is 2,500, so, I mean, if that's low, then fine, but I'm not gonna change it mid-stream and potentially fuck everything. I'll I'll up that next time. I'm gonna write down a memo to do so. Cause like if I can up the quality of fucking at all, I'll do that. I don't fucking care. Like if it works, it works. I think I might have picked a fucking low bit rate because I was doing like some relatively like high intensity streams a while back, and I wanted a lower bit rate so that I could do that and something else at the same time on a not very good internet connection. But honestly, this one's supposed to be much better, so I don't actually foresee much of a difficulty in that regard. So yesterday was my birthday. Oh, hey, happy birthday, Valor. Good to hear. So, how be the trips around the globe? How many of or the fire globe? I like the fire globe. I might start calling the sun our fire globe. Fire globe. I like that. I feel like that's something that, like, if you were writing a fiction about some like primitive society that like post-apocalypse is rediscovering how everything works, like from the start, like they were babies in the fucking fallout shelter and their parents died or whatever, and then they come to the surface and they're like they were educated about the globe, but for some reason they left out the actual sun part of the sun thing, and they're like, the fabled fire globe. Ah, good to hear. Let's give this a look. Huh. I don't see the channel you're talking about. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Good stuff. He should consider actually committing some of this stuff to like music. Has he ever made any music? I'm starting to make some music. I'm picking away at learning how to really not only use but master Mixcraft, a software that's going to allow me to fucking finally use my MIDI keyboard. Because for those who have been following me for a long time, you know I have one. And I've just been waiting for the right software to use. And I don't want to use something pirated and have my music like watermarked or some shit by some DRM or whatever. But I have this and I've had it for years. So I'm finally going to put it to use. And I've already been making some tunes. Like, I've already made some objectively good stuff. And I've been using this software for like, you know, fucking 80 seconds. And like, that's something that I could be very passionate about. Like, me and music. I need music. It's like that line from Skolt, who is an industrial artist that used to work with Marilyn Manson. It's like that line from Skolt where he says, "Rock and roll's not suicide, it's life support." And it's pretty much like that with me. Like, I'm fucking... I need it. I need my music. I need, like, to be able to sympathize with the person in the song and to get something that jibes with the noise inside my skull. So, yeah. Also, um, I spent a significant amount of today collecting like little screenshots and clips, and tomorrow going to be recording a significant amount of content. My goal is to not only have December rent taken care of by the end of next week, but um, by like the end of tomorrow, I want to have like an absolute ton of stuff for y'all. Um, and I'm gonna start writing for Agnex again. I'm gonna put some articles up on the site and start covering some current events. I'm gonna start linking to those on the Free Thought Project. I'm gonna start really leveraging the fact that I have access to both now. And also, I'm going to explain what happened with my Telegram in a full-on video. So, yeah. I just need to actually get back to my daily vlog schedule because this is fucking pathetic. I think that's the scientific term for it, is fucking pathetic. So, like I think there have been studies on the effects of what I'm doing and the general behavioral patterns, and the conclusions the scientific community reached in consensus were that it's fucking pathetic how few videos I've uploaded in the past 6 months. But hey, still more than back alley philosophy, where their latest video was about their advice on dodging the draft, which essentially amounted to burn your draft card and don't talk about it with anyone else. Which means that they've already fucked up talking about it with their audience. If fucking esoteric drugged out entity were to even get in, the military would tell him to go fuck himself and send him out on a dishonorable drugged out discharge. He's already fucking like military proof. He's a weak fucking drug addict. And he wasn't even in the video because he's so fucking like stuck in his weird depression den about his fucked up life he fucked up. And like and so Filthy had to take the reins of the channel, making the vast majority of the content for it for a while now. And Filthy, who by the way is still okay with the pedophile Riley, Filthy, he had the great brilliant idea to make this video where his whole point was burn your draft card and don't talk about it, your draft notice, and don't talk about it while he's talking about it. Hey, great. And also a really good way that if you do that, nobody in your inner circles will know about it. So if they force you to join the military, they won't know that that happened or that there might be something wrong, and they won't go looking for you. Good job! You did it! That's great OPSEC! Like, no, in fact, that's not the way to do it. What we need is authentic solidarity networks and people being there for each other so that we can stand up to the state. Not don't talk about it. Fuck you, back alley. Like, and every single video they make is like this. It's just worthless garbage. Holy shit. And you know, it's no surprise, since these hapless losers, like, they thought that because Filthy's internet went down and there was somebody like connected to their network, I guess, who was masked in Virginia on a Verizon business account, which the government does not use, that somehow that's evidence that the CIA was on their tail, shutting down their fucking stream for saying the most banal, useless garbage. Like, go fuck yourself, you self-aggrandizing hacks. Like, what I'm so sure the CIA, the literal CIA, would use an unmasked Verizon business connection and tell you that it's coming from literal CIA country, I'm so sure that they would leave you that trail. And that it's not just some delusion you have. Because the CIA is well known for using highly traceable fucking traffic. And definitely they wouldn't use any sort of VPN, any sort of proxying, any sort of anything to get them outside of the place where their literal headquarters are. It couldn't be that your network itself had been administered partly by people in that area, and that this was just normal traffic that you could find in basically anyone from Verizon's network. It couldn't be that you have Verizon. It couldn't be that you were just stupid, right? And so many of the people in the comments of their video talking about this were basically like saying, yeah, you're very stupid, you don't understand how the internet works, let me explain it to you. And they're just like, they're still persisting. They still act like they're public enemy number one. I mean, maybe they should be on a watch list for the amount of pedophilia they support, but it's like, you're not fucking special, back alley. Nobody gives a fucking shit about you. So, ultimately, yeah, like, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but yeah, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be back. I'm already doing better than they are, and I'm gonna be doing much better than they are on an actual routine basis. I've got 3 up now, though, that weren't before. Hello, Liberimer. Says, oh wow, but you're just a grifter. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm over here grifting by doing actual things. You know, we get the same amount on Patreon. That chaps my dick. Like, the back alley gets anything on Patreon at all for doing nothing. Ever. So, yeah, fucking lots more coming. And I'm going to make short form content out of every video. Every video is going to be, like, there's going to be a clip that I can take and put somewhere. It's going to start on Facebook and then later be uploaded to YouTube. Because Facebook is more willing to proliferate reels than they are, like, links to your content on other sites. So if I hide a link to, like, my YouTube video in a Facebook reel description, I can share that, have people share that, and then the thing will be clickable. The Barimer, and that time they got paid to do an anti-Semitic video on Patreon, but never did it, and then refused to refund the patron. Although, I don't care, because fuck a Nazi. You lost some money? I don't care. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where they played statist games and then they got stolen from. Hey, the state steals from people all the fucking time, so there you go. Valor says, imagine doing nothing yet still getting rich off it. Definitely a rare occurrence. Not so rare. Liberimer says, that just shows how clownish those people are. Imagine paying somebody to do a video you won't. Because you won't go mask off, but they definitely should. Cowards! Cowards! If I can stand by a message, I'll make a video on it tomorrow. Which, there's gonna be videos on the Israel-Palestine shit, because that's a thing that I haven't been making videos on, because I've been trying to hone them down and make them real good and real thorough. But one of the things I'm working on is a Hate with Harding about the history of the Israel-Palestine conflict. So, the Barrimer says, LOL, Jeremiah hitting that mania. I mean, I've been sort of manic. And also, I got an actual reasonable night's sleep last night. So, I'm dangerous today. And then I got in my workout before getting started on this, so I've got my post-workout meal over here that I'm horking down. Hazards of home cooking. Sometimes I find a chicken bone in my chicken pasta. Or two. More bones for the bone soup. For the bone broth. And then the bone broth will mean that the essentially $40 I spent on a couple weeks of meals will be completely handled by the end of making the bone broth. I'm going to sell, like, it'll basically be $2.50 a pound, and I'll be selling them in 2-pound increments to various people. And, of course, keeping a couple pounds for myself. But yeah, lots on the agenda. I want one of the primary things I want to get done is working, like, getting my album out, because once I do, I will have a lot of music that I can just use from my own YouTube, and nobody can fucking stop me. Nobody can do shit. So, you know, I'll be able to use my own content ID in my own system, and it won't even be a problem if somebody else uses my music, because it'll be Creative Commons. I'm not going to do copyright strikes on people's content if they use my music. But, like, it'll be something that I can actually stably use. And that's something I've been waiting for. Because, like, you go on all these sites and everything's watermarked. Everything's gonna be like, there's like an interjection in the middle of the song that says like Gemendo or something. Like, that's annoying. Nobody wants to hear that in the middle of a presentation on foreign policy. Valor says, I was told we might get raided by Iran, and everyone is going to be forced to become Muslims. I'm assuming this is by your Daily Wire family, because holy shit. That's next level alarmism. That's holy shit territory. Imagine thinking Iran can do jack shit to the US. They can barely influence policy in the Middle East, and they couldn't strike back on the US after the US extrajudicially assassinated one of their generals under suspicion of attack. So, no, Iran does not have the power to stage a raid in the US and force us to speak force us to be Muslims. That your mom is bought into the fear so extremely. Holy shit. Iran is such a small country, yo. Iran is such a small country. Palestine is such a smaller country. Like, the idea of them being able to go that far across the ocean without interceptors from the US doing jack shit. If the US gets raided by Iran, if the US gets raided by Iran, it was an inside job. No shot of anything else. None. If the U.S. gets raided by Iran, they let it happen. Like, fuck. People actually believe this shit. People believe Iran, with exactly zero structural power, a tiny population, next to no, like, war materials, next to no ability to do, like, transcontinental travel with any sort of force at all, that place is gonna raid us? When? Where? Where is this universe? What the fuck? Oh man, people can just say things. People just be out here saying things. Oh, that's exhausting. People, this is the result of a bunch of people who have zero knowledge of wartime conditions just saying things. Fucking ban free speech. That's the solution. Go full Mao. Man, imagine thinking remotely that was true. Imagine thinking that was true and then scaring your children with it. Motherfucker. Everybody's just buying into the fear-mongering. It's truly a time to be a time. Like, I can't imagine listening to the Daily Wire enough to just believe that Iran is a serious national security threat to the United fucking States. Like, do you know about Soleimani? Valor? I'm actually curious. If you don't, I'll fill you in. Because that's proof that this is bullshit. That's proof in a fucking handbasket. Okay, Soleimani was a general in Iran. I'm just gonna do a quick share over here. And hope that this doesn't fuck up. Because last time it wasn't that effective a method of doing this. Yeah, here we go. Good. So, this is the story right here. The assassination of Qasem Soleimani was commander of the Quds Force, one of the 5 branches of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. I just say it every wrong way first. Corps, a designated terrorist organization by both the United States and European Parliament. That's what they do, by the way. They're like, yeah, those guys that are part of the official government or elected or whatever, we'll just call that a terrorist organization. We'll just call that a terrorist organization. We don't have terrorist organizations. Not like our organizations do the same shit and a lot more of it and a lot worse on a lot more like occasions. No, these guys are the scary ones. These guys are the terrorists. Like, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Like, I oppose all governments. I'm not saying I'm on Team Qasem Soleimani, but a designated terrorist organization by both the US and European Parliament, Soleimani was considered the second and most powerful person in Iran, subordinate to Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. The 5 Iraqi nationals and 4 other Iranian nationals were killed alongside Soleimani, including the deputy chairman of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces and commander of the Iran-backed Kataib Hezbollah militia, Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, a person designated as a terrorist by the U.S. and United Arab Emirates. The Pentagon says Soleimani and his troops were responsible for the deaths of hundreds of American and coalition service members and the wounding of thousands more. And, like, maybe, I'm not saying that this guy's a saint, but also, Reminder of how many places the U.S. has bases. Reminder of the fact that like these fucking service members were here to begin with is the result of mega corporate collusion with the state for the purposes of building and maintaining a military industrial complex. So it's like you know, you start statist shit, you get statist bullshit in return. And the strike occurred during the 2019 to 2022 Persian Gulf crisis, which began after the U.S. withdrew from the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran in 2018, reimposed sanctions, and accused Iranian elements of fomenting a campaign to harass U.S. forces in the region in 2019. So the U.S. placed a bunch of sanctions on them, and then they said, hey, you fomented a campaign against us. And then this campaign sort of culminated in an attack on a U.S. embassy. And then Trump was like, bomb that bitch. And so he was indeed bombed. Now, the entire international community was basically like, this is fucking whack, yo. But, hey, what did Iran do about it? What could Iran do about it? What did they do as retaliation? Nothing. Essentially nothing. I mean, they did some, like, expulsions afterward, but they have no power. Iran is a tiny country. Like, here, let me just put this in perspective. Because I think this needs to be shown as well. So the U.S. has like 350 million people or something like that. Iran has fucking that. 89,172,767 people. It's like, you know, a fucking sixth as big in terms of population. And then you get to the fact that Iran is in the Middle East and the U.S. is here. What are they going to do to us? The closest thing that they could get to an attack on the U.S. is attacking Israel. And, like, there's a great chance of possibility that that's what this thing was, right? With Hamas. But they're not going to raid the U.S. Who fucking thinks that? Who spreads that around? Who tells their children that fucking Hezbollah is gonna come out from the bushes behind the Albertsons? Oh no, that Costco, that fucking Starbucks, there's a fucking Hezbollah contingent in there. They're gonna fucking... This is the Red Scare. There's a commie behind every bush, except now it's like there's a damn Muslim behind every bush. What the fuck is that? Like, this is the same water-brained take as saying that the pour-over from the southern border, calling it a pour-over or an avalanche or a flood or something equally non-human, contains fucking terror cells. And that the U.S. is being slowly invaded by terror cells. I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe it's fucking bullshit. Like, the vast majority of the people who came here because the U.S. destabilized one of their regions, and now they have no other choice. They didn't want to leave Mamacita behind. They aren't taking our jobs. They're trying to get theirs back after the destruction that is wrought by U.S. meddling, Western fucking interference, sanctions, fucking blockades, fucking interference with international partners in the name of stopping Russia or communism or some other fucking equally bullshit reason to enforce neoliberal capitalism on the fucking region. They're coming from places the U.S. destroyed. And then the U.S. says that these motherfuckers are full of terror cells as an excuse to say we need to seal that border off because saying fentanyl didn't work as well as they needed it to. And they didn't have an excuse to say bomb Mexico the way they wanted to, because they were saying that unhinged shit before. They were saying bomb Mexico because there's fentanyl drug cartels in Mexico, so we need to bomb the cartels. Now they have more reasons, and they can just say, ooh, scary terrorists bomb Mexico. They just really want to bomb Mexico. That's what they really want to do. They want to bomb Mexico. And that's the real thing, because if they bomb Mexico, then they can say, there's some resources where we just bombed. If you give us access to those resources after we just liberated you, we'll rebuild your fucking cities. It's soft power after hard power. It's the foreign policy equivalent of trauma bonding. They did it in Iraq. They did it in Afghanistan. They did so fucking much everywhere goddamn that they've been. They just go in, fuck up a place, and then take the resources of that place in exchange for unfucking it. And then establish it as a vassal state of Western imperialism and the hegemony thereof. And then they've got like a way to patrol the regional resource routes and maintain trade relations with everybody there and enforce capitalism on neighbors, because you saw what we did to Chile. You wouldn't want the same shit, would you, Argentina? Make sure to elect Javier Milei so that he can dollarize your economy right before the CBDC. He's a libertarian! I promise! This isn't a gun! I don't have a gun aimed at your head! Fucking... God, it's so delusional. It's so evil. It's exhaustingly evil. Anyway, let me get back to the chat here. Valor says, speaking of music, my friend Kurt might start his own band with his friends, and I'm gonna be the audio editor. Good. Do you have a good audio editing program for it? If not, I recommend Mixcraft, and I think it's even still on sale on Humble. Like, you should really have a good DAW if you're gonna be doing that. It's called a digital audio workstation. I mean, you can still get Audacity, which isn't the worst, but it has no instrument inputs, it has no way to edit notes, it has nothing. It's very stripped down and bare bones. If you just need it to make the audio quality good, that's one thing, but if you need it to do anything with the audio other than that, you're shit out of luck. So. Valor says we got emergency supplies. Ooh! It's one of those grifts. It's just like, buy my bulk bucket of bullshit that's going to expire in 2 years. Buy my bulk emergency bullshit, instead of learning any sort of useful homesteading skills and making your own. Buy my bulk bullshit bucket, so that you can, like, feel secure in whatever emergency crops up, even though nothing has happened to the U.S. remarkably since 9/11. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks that this is the way a lot of these communities are. Instead of actually being a prepper and learning how to prepare and getting your shit ready, learning to tie good knots, learning to navigate without a phone, learning to, fucking can and dehydrate and otherwise preserve, and learning, instead of learning, buy my bullshit bucket. We got emergency supplies. Yeah, for the fucking Iran raid on United States soil. The Iranians are amassing at the border quick. Oh shit. Oh, that kills me. Motherfucker. Valor says, I was told people are gonna die if they don't become Muslim. On what authority? If that happens, it's gonna be because the U.S. brought them here. The U.S. just came up with, like, trucks of fucking Iranians and just dropped them off and said, don't tell anyone, and we'll give you CIA money to infiltrate and scare people. Like, that's the only way this happens. That's the only way this goes down. This could never happen organically. Oh, that's fucking... Oh, I hate that so much. And, like, I have no doubt that like, if she's spreading that bullshit, she got it from somewhere. Which means that there's other people saying the same shit. How atrocious. How sick and evil. These people just say shit. I hate it. It's like Matt Wallace on Twitter. You just say it. It doesn't need to be true. I could look at Matt Wallace's timeline right now and find readers added context to, like, at least a third of his posts, if not half or more. Because he sucks and he just says things. And that's the kind of people motherfuckers be believing really these days, though. For real, for real. No cap. All facts, no printer. Happy how it is. It's exhausting. I'm fucking tired. I'm so tired that I de-aged a generation. Ugh. Fucking worthless. Worthless. Valor's like, history lessons with Jeremiah. Yeah, basically. I just have to remind people of these things because, like, Trump was not a dove. Trump removed Obama's reporting mandate for drones. He removed a mandate that said you had to tell people how many drones you used, how many times you droned people. And that meant that he was no longer breaking records because he didn't have to say how many he was using. And he could do things like drone strike and kill Qasem Soleimani. That's how it be. And while he's drone striking Qasem Soleimani, I wonder why Iran would side against the U.S. fucking government when the U.S. government just brazenly comes in and kills fucking generals. And just thinks they can get away with that. Almost like the U.S. has become a regional bully wherever they are, and a lot of people are fucking sick of it. And, like, I'm not, again, I'm not on Team Qasem Soleimani, and the government of Iran is a hugely regressive theocracy. I fucking despise theocracies. I don't like the theocracy of Israel. I don't like the theocracy of the government of Palestine. I don't like the theocracy of the government of Iran. I'm not endorsing these people. I'm just saying it's understandable to want to destroy your foreign controllers. So, Valor says, I doubt we were going to go to war, but I got very scared. That's what they do. It's all fear-mongering, yo. Let me just go through Matt Wallace. I'll do an impromptu, like... Because this is something people should see. Matt. Oh. That is if he didn't block me. He didn't, but he fucking sucks. Okay. Alright. Be prepared for one of the most cringe, least useful Twitter accounts you'll ever fucking see. Where is it, though? That's what I need to know. There we are. Okay, cool. So, This is Matt Wallace. He sucks asshole. Now I'm going to scroll for a bit. Here's an example. The U.S. military aircraft that have been disappearing and crashing lately are actually being sold off by corrupt officials as part of an elaborate fraud ring. No source. And I guarantee you if I reverse image search this fucking shit, I'm going to see some things that aren't that. This is an old fucking picture from something else, and he has no fucking clue what he's talking about. While sex trafficking underage girls to the elites, Jeffrey Epstein was extremely effective at flying under the radar. It was all by control. He had significant influence over and regularly met with many powerful people, yet the media rarely covered him. They fucking covered him all the time, you hack. They were helping to hide his despicable crimes for decades. Top media bosses made sure of it. Here is one rare exception from 2008 when Epstein was secretly filmed landing in his private plane and meeting a shady figure who appears to be his boss or handler. So, maybe that's true. But also, he was being covered because he was under trial. You hack! And then it's like Jeffrey Epstein 2.0 exposed. And I guarantee you this is garbage. This isn't real. And if I show you this, YouTube is going to take down my video. So I'm not going to play this on stream here. But at some point, I'll do a full breakdown of his garbage content. Because his content is garbage. And most of his videos are going to be affiliate fucking marketing. So, he just says shit. If you live in Israel, make a post saying, "The eye weeps for the residents of Gaza. A bunch of men with guns will show up to your house 40 minutes later and take you away." No proof of this. And just all these things that he says. Now let me scroll until you see your first community note. Because it's gonna be right there somewhere. He's gonna have community notes fucking somewhere. That is unless Community Notes has just stopped policing him because Elon Musk likes this account, so it's not gonna fucking happen, right? There has to be. Okay, so here's one from Steven Crowder. Community Notes is trying to suppress this and Alex Jones didn't leak this to us. Can you look into this? Fucking... Alright, so... I think they just... Okay, here's one. Warning, Israel may be about to use nuclear weapons in Gaza. Sounds crazy, right? How could they get away with that? Wouldn't it be too risky? Blah, blah, blah. And then, a nuclear detonation in the Gaza Strip would expose Israeli communities to fallout and contamination. It would also have major political and social ramifications for the entire region. There is no verifiable evidence that Israel is considering the use of nukes in Gaza. That's fucking true! It's right there! Israel is tiny! If you nuke Gaza, you nuke all of Israel as well! Fact! You would kill so many people in Israel. You would kill the hostages in Israel. Or in Gaza. You would kill the Israeli hostages. You would kill everyone in Gaza. You would kill a lot of people in Israel at first and then everyone else later on. A nuke in the middle of Israel. It's a tiny postage stamp of a fucking country, Matt Wallace. You hack. They're going to nuke fucking Gaza. Fuck. And, okay, so just keep scrolling. I'll keep scrolling until the next fucking community notes. Because there will be community notes. There were community notes over here. Okay. So, this was an example of a post that I went against because I go against his hack dumb garbage. Urgent alert! The Pentagon has deployed a massive number of military planes above U.S. airspace. I've never seen this many U.S. military aircraft in the sky at once! This is Kyle Rittenhouse. There is no evidence Kyle Rittenhouse fucking said that. And it says, this is outright speculation and seems to be intent on creating panic. This is a picture of Flight Radar 24, but there is nothing indicating there is more military traffic, regular air traffic, and you can see a link. They just show it. Look at it. It's not real. But he posted a bunch of things that said it was real. Like, the screenshots posted as evidence showing lower volume of air traffic on other days are all snapshots from early in the morning before most military flights occur. On any morning, volume is low. But Matt Wallace just lies. He doesn't care. Fuck. So, this is what Matt Wallace does. And if you scroll more, you're going to see more community notes. 60 people arrested, not 550. Like, he just lies. All the fucking time. Basically, when he logs on, there is not a day he logs on that he doesn't lie. So, that's what we're dealing with, is this kind of person. This kind of person. Breaking news, Elon Musk just announced he's donating Starlink to help the people of Gaza. Readers added context. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk announced SpaceX Starlink will be provided to support Gaza communication links via the UN and internationally recognized aid organizations. This does not mean Starlink will be accessible to the general public in Gaza. It's just lies. You can keep scrolling. There will be more lies. Just gonna scroll until I see the next lie. And I can prove so many more of these things to just be lies. Like, breaking news, Israel is putting an indefinite delay on their ground invasion of Gaza after China Navy fleet shows up in region. Nobody affiliated with the IDF has stated that they are putting an indefinite delay on the ground invasion of Gaza. You can find some of the latest news and updates on Gaza here. You can also find official IDF IAF sources on X here. Fucking, and he complains about it. He's like, how do you expect me to make a living on this platform if you constantly demonetize my stuff because community notes posts are demonetized now? Good. Because they should be. Community notes posts should get you demonetized. Right? They should. Because if your shit is disinformative, Twitter shouldn't be giving you money for having posted it. That's enabling libel. It could be considered a crime. So, yeah, fucking, this is the kind of person who your mother probably believed. That would be my guess. Your mother probably saw some posts somewhere that said it might, and then she's just like, meh. Like, that's fucking embarrassing. Imagine thinking that a nation with a total population that's like a sixth of the size of the US, a fifth at most, is going to do a land invasion from an entire ocean away with multiple land masses in the way and the entire force of the US Air Force and Navy in their way. That we're going to be raided. By who? By who? Who is raiding us? Nobody is raiding the US. The US is consistently running a masterclass in fear-mongering. The US is consistently telling people that there's some foreign invader threat where they can justify their actions. The US is consistently telling people, ooh, there's a Cuban missile crisis, right? The Russians are putting missiles in Cuba. That's provocation. That's war justification. But when we put a bunch of missiles, troops, munitions, and the rest on the border of Russia by giving it to Ukraine, that isn't the same kind of provocation. Right? Bullshit. fuck? Anyway. One moment. My ears. Yeah, me going on one of my shouting rampages. Valor, audio editing is my hobby when I have free time. I have a good editing app on mobile. I'd recommend getting a good PC, because if they give you a lot of audio files, it's going to sort of not be very effectively buffered on a phone. You'll get much better success with, like, your final bit rate on a PC app. I would recommend it. I mean, it's up to you. It's not my work. You want to talk about the Second Amendment cases that the Supreme Court took up this week? Link me whatever you want me to talk about in the server, and I will go check the list. LeBarimer also says, not only to mention that this country has more guns than people. Yeah, like this country would be an inviable target. Not only do you got more guns than people, but if there was an actual ground invasion, you would have people signing up for the military. The recruitment crisis would be over because people would actually have skin in the game. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there is an Iranian invasion of the United fucking States, it will be because the United States let it happen. And the reason they will have let it happen will be so that they can justify increased spending, so that they can justify increased recruitment, so they can justify an increased presence in the Middle East, so they can justify more arms to Israel, so they can justify blah, blah, blah. I mean, if it does happen, like, I will be surprised. But if it does happen, it will be because the U.S. made it happen. Just like 9/11 was an inside job, this one would be too. LeBarimer, the Afghans and Iraqis and Vietnamese could all run insurgencies that crippled the U.S. military, and then these people act like a foreign army invading the U.S. The country with more guns than people would be met with one of the biggest insurgencies ever seen in military history. Wouldn't be. Yeah. He also says it's almost like these wars abroad aren't actually meant to keep us safe. Yep. Nah, couldn't be. You traitor. What does hack mean? It means that somebody isn't serious. It means that somebody is like lying. They're putting on the image of being something that they aren't. Hello, Urban Planner. Valor says, I got a laptop now. I got it for my birthday. Good. Good. I don't see any posts in comments. Definitely down to talk about these the Second Amendment cases you want to bring up, though. Looks like Urban Planner just popped in to say that and then said bye. Well, adios. Oh, Urban's still here. Hello. Urban says Defense Politics Asia discovered YouTube is curating combat video from forces, not Israel, in the strip of land. I don't know what you mean by that. Elaborate, and I will respond. Oh. Oh, that's fucking weird. Well, I'm in live chat, like any, and I don't moderate anything. I don't have auto moderator on. It must be YouTube's mandatory moderation. Feel free to use like leet speak, like use numbers in the place of some vowels. Ham ass. Well, that actually, okay, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. But that's fucking interesting, for sure. I mean, it's not surprising to me that YouTube is taking a side in this. YouTube is directly affiliated with the alphabet agencies, the people who control the purse strings of U.S. politics, so it's not surprising to me in the slightest that they're like this. I like calling them ham ass. That's funny. You just start saying ham ass everywhere. You get the pig and the pig and the ass emoji. I think there's an ass emoji, and that's your new code for it. I mean, it could even be seen as insulting. Like, yeah, we're siding against them. We're not just using this to circumvent your censorship filters. Yeah, there you go. Um, the Barimer says, a big one is the Rahimi case, asking whether or not someone as a Danko can be barred from bearing arms. And then also, the oral arguments seem to center it around whether or not dangerous and or irresponsible people are protected by the Second Amendment. And my worry here is that the court might rule in a way that opens the door for more restrictions and to like say that dangerous people can't bear arms and then have other courts and lawmakers say that the mentally ill can't bear arms. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But if that's the case, then it could be reversed by saying, something simple like if you just fired your shit with wanton disregard for the lives of others, at somebody who did nothing wrong, um, then you should be held accountable. Um, because that's what this guy did. If I remember correctly, he shot at somebody who approached him in a parking lot. Okay. Firearmspolicy.org. Hello, FPC. Still mutuals on Twitter. Probably this will work. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Brief in opposition of defense distributed? What? Oh, okay. Alright. Frame or receiver rule. Apply and reverse. This is a lot of information that I would have to click into. So, let me see. Plaintiffs, blah blah. I'm going to find a summary. Like an actual challenging the ATF's frame or receiver rule. So, the case was brought August 2022 by Jennifer Vanderstock and Tactical Machining LLC and attorneys with Mountain States Legal Foundation and the FPC. Several intervener plaintiffs joined the suit as it progressed, including Blackhawk Manufacturing Group, Polymer 80, and Defense Distributed, making several distinct Second Amendment and Administrative Procedure Act claims. The plaintiffs argued that ATF illegally expanded the statutory definition of the terms firearm and receiver and asked for preliminary injunctive relief. Yeah, but why did they do that? Let's click this news link. Shut up. Ongoing war on the gun industry and blah blah. After issuing an injunction. Partial receivers as complete firearms. Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense, though. Weapon parts kit, which may be an aggregation of partially manufactured parts, blah blah. Alright. But when was this? So July 1st, apparently they had a sort of victory. Drawing such a distinction will produce the absurd result whereby a person lawfully prohibited from possessing a firearm can obtain the necessary components and, given advances in technology, self-manufacture a firearm with relative ease and efficiency. Even if it's true that such an interpretation creates loopholes that it's not... Okay. So, it's like Congress shall make no law territory. Alright, well, I mean... But that... What, did that get overturned? Is that what this is? Because I don't know what the actual issue here is with Vanderstock v. Garland. I'm gonna go check chat and see if you can tell me what you mean. Valor's like, I'm gonna invite 051 here. Feel free. Liberimer says, I don't think Raheem is a sympathetic person. I'm just worried about the precedent that can be set here. I mean, sure. Yeah. Well, okay, my take on that case is parts should not be considered a problem. And if they are, then again, I think the real reason they're considered a problem is maintenance and expansion of the violence monopoly. The state can't have people just as capable of violence as they are. That makes the state a lot... It makes it a lot harder for the state to do their job of tyranny. Alright, well... I already talked about Rahimi, so... Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with that one. Unless you got another. One of these breaking, developing posts that's probably bullshit. Let me check before I say anything. U.S. military aircraft crashes in training accident in Eastern Mediterranean Sea. It's not fucking anything, you bitch! Oh no. Oh, so many boomers. Oh, I'm exhausted. It's a training accident, you cunt. I'm gonna respond to this bitch. What's happening other than your hairline receding? I had to. Because look at this guy. His hairline is so fucking afraid of his eyes. I'm going to show you something that's going to terrify you. Brace yourself for this awful terror. This truly terrible. Oh shit. I did that to the wrong window. A moment. Alright. If you have children in the room, look at that hairline. Look at how far back it's going. And it's like obviously thinner close to it. He's like he took the best picture at the best angle. I guarantee at a different angle his hairline, like, look at it from this side. It's like it's squaring off over here. It's like, help me, I tried to get too close to his mouth and I got scared. Oh man. And then he's over here like developing U.S. military aircraft crashes in Eastern Mediterranean Sea. It's happening. Like, holy shit. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna blow this up. I have to have slightly more reach here. There we go. Look at that. Greg sucks. Like, there's a real strong contingent of people. You can just look up the word developing or breaking. Here, let me just... Oh, actually, I'll go to top. Developing. Whoopi Goldberg called millennials who can't afford a home in Biden's America lazy. What is that developing? She said something mean. What's the developing story, Dom? Developing. About to make a massive announcement. It looks like he wrote a book. Who fucking cares? Developing. It appears Greta Thunberg is having regrets over 2015 prediction that... That's not developing, you cunt! That's just something that happened! Why is that developing? And if the New York Post already said that, why are you fucking... Why do you need to say it to? Everybody just jumps in on the circle jerk. And then you just go over here to, like... Breaking! At least this might have been breaking news at the time that there was some rallies. I don't think that this is true. This is true, but that's not breaking. It happened then. What the fuck do you mean breaking? Breaking? What do you mean breaking? It fucking isn't breaking. You recapped something that somebody else said like 12 hours ago, you cunt. It's not breaking. Breaking, Virginia Democrats are about to lose control of the state Senate after bombshell evidence reveals candidate blah 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 blah. That's not breaking either. None of this is breaking. And then you go breaking and you include one of these motherfuckers? Watch this. I'm gonna blow your mind. Breaking with a siren. You just find the worst bullshit. It's not breaking. None of this is breaking. None of this is breaking. None of this is breaking news. Except this. This might have been breaking at the time. You can tell. You can tell that things aren't breaking when people breaking in all caps and emojis. Emojis breaking. Developing. News story. Blah, blah. Anyway. Fucking... I get frustrated. Urban Planner says he should use his eyebrows for hair plugs. Yeah. Yo. Bring some of that bush to the party. Fucking... Urban Planner, I noticed Canada dropped the sex assault charges against that general that supposedly went missing in Mariupol in 2022. A little bit. LeBarimer says, I wanted to hear your take on this case. The case is basically about when something becomes a firearm and when it becomes subjected to regulations, especially since under 21s can't buy pistols from an FFL. The only options are private sales and buying parts kits and building them for the youth. Yeah. Valor says, ew, I'm gonna have nightmare. Poor hair needs to be resurrected. Like, that's the result. You get politician hair, where you've been stressed about being a soulless husk for so long that you just, like, it starts to run away. Like me, I'm over here just like, same hairline I've had since high school. No thinning on top, no thinning anywhere. I'm over here eating home-cooked meals. I'm over here getting 7 hours of sleep, and you're over there lying on the behest of the military-industrial complex. So your hair's getting scared and saying, I can't be here for this. I gotta get away from the lie hole. Anyway. Is there anything else y'all wanted to discuss? Because if not, I'm probably going to call it in about 11 minutes. And either way I might, but, like, if there's enough to discuss, there's possibilities. Well, by the way, 051, if he's on Discord, is free to join Hedgehog Hedge. You can let him know that as well. I feel like that one would probably be slightly better for him than Exy. I have both, though. One is just edgier and much more serious, less laid back. Hello to the fourth concurrent viewer. We got about 10 minutes left unless enough subjects come up. Fortunately, I already did my workout, so I don't have to go head out there and do a workout at 8 at night. That got annoying. But yeah, lots more coming. Lots more. I have like a few things that I really want to hammer home. And I'm going to start hitting those hard because like it's been too long since I was routine, and it's also there's a lot that's been happening. There's a lot that's been happening and being enabled, and a lot of things that I need to go against that I haven't been. So, lots of stuff in that regard. Um, and one of the things that I'll be covering, um, apart from foreign policy and shit, I'm gonna make a sequel to that 10 groomer cops conservatives don't want you to know about. I'm gonna make a sequel to that. I want to do one of those a month. I want to do one of those a month, um, and use as many examples of that format as possible. Because there are like the right has co-opted the idea of stopping grooming so that they can go after people, the majority of whom are not fucking groomers, and then they ignore the groomers who routinely help them do what they do, the groomers who help them maintain their power monopoly. So yeah, lots of that coming. But anyway, all right, well, if people don't have more they want to discuss, I don't know, 123 is probably fine. So, you've got dots. Yeah, well, let him know that these streams are done, uh, once every Saturday, and that there's also going to be some interviews on this channel and a bunch of other ways to stream, and a variety of like other content. But these streams happen reliably once a week, like from the 5 to 7 range. So he's free to show up then. But either way, yeah, I think that pretty much calls it. Oh, also, I'm going to be making strong content against Andrew Tate because I'm fucking Andrew Tate, Matt Wallace, fucking Nick Fuentes, Matt Walsh, all these fucking grifters. I'm going to be starting to hit them hard. But I'm also going to be making content against some leftists because recent events in a certain Discord server have prompted me to, let's just say, go nuclear on a variety of people. Because certain leftists that I thought were the reasonable ones treated me like absolute dog shit. And instead of just making one petty video where I talk about what happened to me and then walk away, I'm going to start making a series of videos debunking a wide variety of things that they believe in. I'm going to go after a lot of this stuff and see if I can't personally break down what I believe to be their failings, what I believe to be their problems. And I'm going to go against them and also the rest of the left because I've been going way too easy on them while I've been going against the right wing for a significant period of time. I've been going way too easy on them. And I think it's time for me to start striking them the same way, with the same level of intensity and routine ferocity. Because I've been treated like shit by basically everyone. And I'm sick of those people who treat people like shit getting the limelight, getting treated well, and nobody talks against them, and, you know, it's just one big circle jerk at the end of the day. I am tired of that. That needs to go. So, I'm going to start making direct content against those sorts of people, what they believe, who they support, because there's a reason that they're still statists and not anarchists, and a reason that they didn't like the fact that I said I was an anarchist. And a reason why simply asking them how many cherries does it take before it's no longer cherry picking got me accused of disrespect and being aggro. So much so that the dude comes in and says, "Cease typing," after telling me to explain myself. I hate that shit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. If you're going to tell me that I need to explain myself, if you're going to tell me that the situation needs to be, you know, in some way handled, you do not get to tell me at the same time to stop talking. That's cop shit. That's, you know, when a cop tells you don't move and then also put your hands behind your back, don't reach behind you, don't move, don't reach behind you, put your hands behind your back. Like, fuck you. Issuing contradictory commands and shit. That's how they killed Daniel Shaver. Just like gunned him down in that hotel hallway after issuing all these contradictory fucking commands. And then the officer who killed him had "you're fucked" etched on his gun, which was apparently fucking true. Daniel Shaver was indeed fucked. And then, like, this is the way certain revolutionaries and insurrectionaries act. The left should be liberatory, and if it's not, then I will fucking tear you down. You fake motherfucker. And so, I'm going to start doing that. Because I was treated like absolute dog shit. And in this same server, by the way, I'm not going to say which one it is yet. You know? When I come out with my content, people will probably be able to extrapolate. But this server, one of the people they defended was Scott Ritter. Because they posted a quote from him. Dianne Feinstein had died, and he posted a quote about how big a piece of shit she was from his perspective. And it's like, you know, these people were saying that, oh, now we have confirmation from somebody who was close to her. And so I was like, yeah, but it's Scott Ritter. You know, a multiple-time convicted child predator. And a pro-war fucking authoritarian. And they accused me of supporting the establishment. Because apparently you can't criticize fucking pedophiles associated with somebody's movement without being with the establishment. And they said, well, they always try to smear people when they get close. And it's like, this isn't a smear. It's something he admitted to. It's something he's been multiple times convicted for. It's not a smear. It's truth. And if you can't handle truth, shut the fuck up about liberation. Because truth, like, truth is the foundation of liberty. Liberty without truth is impossible, and truth without liberty is useless. So, it's time to get a little bit more of both in these fucking circles. Because I am sick of that being the norm. Of it being the norm for people to just get away with supporting truly awful people and things. And then say, nah, but you're just against liberation or something. And it's like, no. No, I'm not against liberation just because I oppose a child predator in your midst. I'm not against liberation because I oppose a Department of Defense contractor for the UN who is now an ex-that and speaking on shit from that perspective. Like, sure, that might be valuable, but if people can also point out the fact that he wants to predate children, it makes it seem less fucking serious, less fucking reasonable that we're listening to this guy over literally anyone else. If you can't even leave the children alone, I don't think I can take you seriously on anti-exploitation politics, motherfucker. But I got accused in multiple groups recently of sounding like I was working with the three-letter agencies because I opposed a pro-war pedophile. And Scott Ritter, like, he was with the government. If anything, I'm opposing the three-letter agencies by going against a literal ex-government employee being a pedophile and trying to insert both of those as relevant experience in the fucking leftist communities. He fucking somehow constantly inserts himself into. It's fucking exhausting. I'm exhausted. Like, if anything, I'm opposing the three-letter agencies more than these motherfuckers. And let me just also say that opposing the FBI, CIA, NSA, all this shit, that's great. But there are other three-letter agencies, and if you don't oppose the KGB and FSB and MI6 and Mossad and all this other shit just as much as you oppose the CIA, it's not the three-letter agencies that bother you, it's who they report to. There are so many three-letter agencies around the world, and if you support any one of them, you're no less a Fed than anyone who supports the FBI, CIA, or any goddamn thing else. Shut the fuck up, hypocrite. Anyway, lots of content in that regard. But, for now, I have some things to take care of and some people to talk to. So, be well all. Smash the fucking state.